Warplanes screaming overhead, warships closing in. China has just unleashed its most aggressive military operation around Taiwan this year. The drills are Beijing's explosive response to Washington's $11.1 billion arms deal with Taipei. The world watches as tensions spiral in one of Asia's most dangerous flashpoints.
China's fury is back on full display. Jets roar. Bombers on the prowl. Warships cut through dark waters. Missiles lock. Chinese troops encircle Taiwan. Beijing calls it a stern warning to external forces. Taipei calls it intimidation at its doorstep. The message is written in smoke and radar blips. Chinese fighter jets slice through contested airspace. Naval destroyers simulate blockade operations. Rocket forces rehearse precision strikes. Chinese state media floods screens with footage of missiles rolling out, pilots strapping in, troops sprinting into position. This is not a drill designed for subtlety. It is shock and awe carefully choreographed.
Any egregious acts that cross the line and provoke on the Taiwan issue will be met with a resolute counterattack from China, and any sinister schemes to obstruct China's reunification are doomed to fail.
Beijing is furious over an $11.1 billion American weapons deal between Washington and Taipei. The deal includes HIMARS rocket systems, anti-tank missiles, and loitering drones. Taiwan, condemning the drills, accused Beijing of escalating tensions and undermining regional peace.
I strongly condemn any actions that escalate regional conflict. My position remains firm. We want dialogue, not confrontation. We want peace and prosperity, not turbulent relations.
Taipei says 90 Chinese warplanes violated Taiwan's air defense zone within hours. 14 warships formed an iron ring around the democratic island of 23 million people. Beijing claims Taiwan is a Chinese province and is preparing to militarily annex it. According to US intelligence, China aims to be capable of invasion by 2027. In response to China's Justice Mission 2025, Taiwan scrambled its own forces. F-16 fighter jets swung into action. Anti-aircraft batteries went hot. Democracy bracing for the dragon's fire. Analysts warn that these aren't just drills anymore, they're normalization. Each exercise pushes boundaries further. Taiwan fears it never knows when the drills could turn into an actual Chinese invasion. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
And to talk more on this, joining us live on the broadcast is Collins Chong-Yu Keat. He's a foreign affairs and security strategist joining us from the University of Malaya. Collins, thanks very much for speaking with us at WION. I want to start by asking you, do you buy the statement and warnings that come frequently every 2-3 months that China will attack Taiwan by 2027?
Well, it is part of this continuous pressure campaign, this psychological warfare on Taiwan, also being meant as a stark warning to regional powers, especially Japan, especially those Washington, that Taiwan remains the ultimate red line for Beijing, and that any matters regarding Taiwan are strictly an internal affair of Beijing. Of course, this has escalated since Takaichi's new statement, and of course also since the arms deal by Washington. But I don't foresee any kind of kinetic warfare movement by Beijing as long as Trump is still here. And although President Xi is facing this time trap now, this power gap, what we have seen how Trump has empowered, rejuvenated the U.S. military capacity. But this deployment of this amphibious assault ship formation, it signals this operational readiness for large-scale maritime and island siege operations, and expanding these exercises beyond the Taiwan Strait. Of course, this is a three-pronged message to Taiwan, to U.S. and Japan, also to the domestic Chinese audience that, now that China has this capacity to operate beyond the first and second island chains, challenging this naval access of the U.S., and that we have seen how this is a continuous gray zone warfare. but it is highly risky and dangerous. Of course, also we have seen how these bellicose actions by China have upended the normative stability of the region, and this has normalized these actions of pressuring Taiwan, and this is going to be risky in the months and weeks ahead.
Sure. Collins, while it is concerning that it does affect the stability and the peace of the region, how do you expect Washington to view this? How do you expect the Trump administration to respond to these drills?
Well, we have seen how the strategic ambiguity concept has also been at utmost pressure, and this has seen some profound changes by the Takashi administration in Japan, and Trump has also continued some sort of a new strategic ambiguity concept, and without fully acknowledging the needs or the assurance or guarantee by the U.S. to fully come to the aid or defense of Taiwan. But of course, for now, the economic factor remains the ultimate factor also for both sides, for both Beijing and Washington, to repair ties. But the Taiwan factor will still remain at the forefront, and both Beijing and Washington know this, and Trump knows this well. And I don't foresee any kind of real threat being given by Beijing. Of course, this is being used by Beijing to pressure Washington, to pressure Trump that more can be done on the side of Beijing, and they have been restrained being shown by Beijing in order to have this kind of better relations between both sides. But Trump will not let Beijing to let loose on Taiwan. This is not going to happen as long as Trump is still in charge for the next 3 years. So I don't see any kind of this risky behavior by Beijing, unless except for these maneuvers that will be meant to test the waters or responses by Washington, but more focus on the pressure campaign on both Taiwan and Japan for the time being.
All right, we'll leave it there. Collins, thanks very much for sharing your perspective on WION. Let's wait and watch how this entire tensions between China, Taiwan, and the US move forward. Thank you very much.